Welcome to Happy Hour, brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping. Yeah, what has it been like building a software company versus building a pressure washing company? I gotta imagine there's some things where you're just like, oh, like software seems sexy, but this sucks. And then there's probably some stuff where like you said earlier, man, building a pressure washing business had some downsides to it, and this is way better for X, Y, and Z reasons. What are the pros and cons in comparison?
Well, the reoccurring revenue, right? That's awesome. Like it helps out so much. So you can really start to build out your base. Now, the other thing that I teach in this program is how to utilize this to create reoccurring revenue for your pressure washing business, because you need to be sending reoccurring reminders to your customer every single year, et cetera, where you're sending text blasts. I don't recommend text blast. Like a lot of times you don't want your clients to unsubscribe from your messaging.
Yeah.
And then there's this new texting law that's come out, A2P 10DLC. So that's changed the landscape on the texting. Everybody has to be registered and verified. And if the carriers are reading your text messages, period. If they don't like something, they will block it. And guess what? You still pay for the text message. Yeah. So there's a lot going on, but we use the text blasting feature, 1 to 4 times a year is what I would say.
Okay.
You shouldn't be text blasting your client list. For one, it's cringy as hell. Okay.
When you do that, is there like a formula for how is like a cadence or a to make it sound personal so it doesn't seem
we
weird?
send a voicemail bomb followed up by a text message, followed up by an email, right? Okay. And then if the customer doesn't respond, it goes again in 7 days.
Okay.
And then if they don't respond, it goes again in 7 days. So.
We always did. I don't know if we still do this, but I feel like we did the same thing. Just our order was different. We would do an email. We went from like
fuck that, dude. The email's got the slowest response rate. Snail mail. You might as well mail them a letter.
We did. We used to mail them a postcard. But we'd do that like way ahead of time, and then would be email, and then would be voicemail bomb, and then would be text. So we'd pick off like the slowest hanging fruit, not the lowest hanging fruit. We'd pick off the slowest hanging fruit, and then we'd get those out of the way first. We didn't want to throw our fastball first.
Right.
We threw like old reliable. Let's pick these people off because we didn't want to get. We would do it seasonally, especially March. Like we're in Minnesota. We didn't want to get a bunch of people in March, but we wanted to get enough people. Yep. And so we'd start with the thing that wouldn't get that many people, but would get enough that we could like start turning the lights on. But half the time they would book, and then the next day it'd be 10 degrees out and everything would be froze up and we couldn't go out and work anyway. So it was like, we didn't want this overwhelming response.
True.
So we would kind of like, it was almost to like capture, we had a list of 10,000 plus people. So it was like, man, if we would have sent a text, we'd have been like, oh shit, we have $200,000 worth of work to do in March, and there ain't gonna be shit left in May from a repeat client base. So let's start with the stuff that we don't expect to work that well.
Right.
It sounds really stupid, but it worked well. It worked in like managing our capacity. Yeah. It does, because I said it out loud. I was like, yeah, that does sound really stupid that we did it that way. But there was a rhyme to the reason. Hey, home service heroes, thank you guys so much for tuning into our home service happy hour content today. I sure hope you learned a little something, and I sure as heck hope that it was entertaining. If you did find it fun and entertaining, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for more cool, fun, entertaining business content. And speaking of which, stay tuned. There's a little more here and a little more right here. Check it out.